Okay, the second part of using this calculator with linear equations is using that calculate button to find the x-intercepts and things like that. So again, you're still going to do the same thing that you would to graph it, plug that equation into y equals, and then go ahead and hit the graph button to get your visual. So if I want to find the x-intercept, that is where the graph crosses the x-axis, right? The x-axis going this way, not the y-axis. We know that the y-intercept is 7 based on our equation. So notice here, the first thing about this is that I cannot see on my graph where it crosses the x-axis. It's somewhere right over here because it gets really, really close, but I can't see it clearly enough. So you're going to need to zoom your picture out so you can get to the left and to the right of it. So you're going to hit the zoom button up on the top, and you've got all these fun different choices for zooming. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. I'm going to hit enter to select zoom out. Notice how nothing's changed, but I've got this little blinking thing right here. I have to hit enter one more time to make the zoom out go into effect. So now that I can see where it's going to cross that x-axis, right about here somewhere. Again, I can't tell exactly because who in the heck wants to count that many lines? And so these are the steps you're going to follow to calculate that. You're going to hit the second button first and then the trace button to get to the calculate menu. So second and then trace, and that pulls up this calculate menu. When we're looking for x-intercepts are called zeros. That's another name for those that we're going to get into eventually. So go ahead and hit enter to select that as 0. Now notice on your calculator screen, a little question came up, and it's asking you, is Mr. Blinky left-bound? And Mr. Blinky is this big blinking X here in the middle that showed up after I selected zeros for that choice 2. So what this is asking me, this is asking me, is Mr. Blinky, that blinking piece, is that to the left of the x-intercept? Well, this is my right, and so no, Mr. Blinky is not to the left of it. So I'm going to use the arrows. Notice how Mr. Blinky is moving. I'm going to use those arrows to move Mr. Blinky till it's to the left of the x-intercept. And it could be anywhere over here. You don't have to go super far past it, just past it enough. Once you're left bound, you're going to tell it that it's left bound by hitting the enter key. Once you hit enter, your screen might not have that dotted line come up, which is okay. Don't stress about that. So now you'll notice it's asking me the same question, but it's asking me, is it right bound? So again, I'm going to go back to those arrows, and I'm going to move Mr. Blinky till it's to the right of that x-intercept, which is about there. Hit enter again to select that. And you'll notice that the point of this, the reason that we do this is because the x-intercept is somewhere between those two lines that we created, those two Mr. Blinkies. Last question that this is asking us is if it wants us to guess. We do want it to guess because its guess is better than your guess. It's a little bit smarter than you when it comes to this. So hit enter to say yes. And then we have a 0 of negative 10.5, meaning that there is an x-intercept of negative 10.5. Which again, I wouldn't have been able to see exactly. I wouldn't know, is it 0.55, 0.56, 0.6, 0.7, who knows? But that's how you use that calculate feature.